Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is a pre-fight show for UFC on Fox. Johnson versus Bader, light heavyweight clash of the ages, to see who's going to fight for the belt next. And yeah, it's a pre-fight show, the main card, so let's get started. I'll make this a quick episode. So in the main event, we have Anthony Rumble Johnson versus Ryan Bader, who won Season 8 of The Ultimate Fighter. Yeah, this fight, pretty much everyone's picking Anthony Rumble Johnson to win by some flashy big knockout because he has amazing knockout power. He's knocked out people in, pretty much every weight class he's fought in. However, Ryan Bader, I think, will be smart enough. He will dodge the heavy shots early on and shoot for takedowns, and then he will grind out a decision. He will lay on top of Anthony Rumble Johnson for all 5 rounds, ground and pound. And when it gets around 3, 4, and 5, Johnson will be gassed out. His cardio will be depleted. So I think Ryan Bader will barely survive the first round or 2, and then grind it out around 3, 4, and 5. And I would imagine in round 2 is when he really starts getting the takedowns. And as the fight goes on, he'll get more and more takedowns. I think Ryan Bader will be smart in this fight. He will avoid heavy shots. He won't try to stand and bang and stay in the pocket too long with Anthony Johnson. Just enough to shoot in for a double leg takedown, which he's pretty good at. So there you have it. I got Ryan Bader winning by unanimous decision. Then in the co-main event, we have Josh Barnett versus Ben Rothwell in a heavyweight clash. I got Ben Rothwell winning by a KO/TKO in the first round. I think Ben Rothwell's on a tear right now. He has a chin on him. He has knockout power, and I think he could knock out Josh Barnett. I think this is going to be shades of Travis Brown versus Josh Barnett, but instead it'll be Rock'em Sock'em Robots. However, it's essentially a boxing fight in the MMA cage, but Rothwell getting a knockout victory mid to late in the first round due to punches. So I got, Ben Rothwell, KO, round 1. And then in the bantamweight division, also on the main card, we have Yuri Alcantara versus Jimmy Rivera. Now, Jimmy Rivera is a top prospect. He has a lot of hype with him. He has an amazing record. He has impressive victories in the UFC. Yuri Alcantara, he is a Brazilian top prospect at bantamweight. He's a guy to look out for. However, I think Rivera gets unanimous decision win. I think he uses his wrestling on this fight, and he'll be good in the guard of Yuri. He will avoid submissions. He will ground and pound and route to a decision victory, unanimous decision win, and possibly knockout in the 3rd round. But I'm leaning more towards a unanimous decision, 30-27 for Jimmy Rivera in this fight. Then to kick off the main card, we have Sage Northcutt. Excuse me. We have a welterweight clash with Sage Northcutt and Brian Barberena, and Brian Barberena. He's a good prospect as well as Sage Northcutt at welterweight. However, I think Sage Northcutt uses his killer taekwondo and karate skills and gets a flashy knockout early on in the fight, mid to late in the first round. I think he lands some flashy kicks, and then he finishes off with some flashy punches. I think that Sage Northcutt's takedown defense is okay. I think it's going to get better with time, but if he does get taken down, he'll be able to pop up, and he has decent jiu-jitsu skills to defend submissions off his back and eventually pop back up, and that will just shut down the ground game of Bryan, and then he will mid to late in the first round in the stand-up department, yeah, end it with some flashy kicks and flashy punches. So I'm picking a KO round 1 due to punches, strikes, Sage Northcutt. So there you have it. There's my predictions, and yeah, that's welterweight clash with Sage. He's previously fought at lightweight in his last couple fights, and I think welterweight, the weight cut won't be too bad for him, and his cardio is going to be that much better. So Sage Northcutt's looking good in this fight. So yeah, there you have. You got a light heavyweight, heavyweight, bantamweight, and welterweight fights. You got weight classes represented across the board in this main card, and it's going to be a good main card, so stay tuned. So there you have it. There's my predictions of this main card. Stay tuned for my next episode, which will be a post-fight for Johnson versus Bader, see if my predictions were correct, see how this all plays out. Until then, see ya.